Welcome to Mom's Day 1 Top Tip Tuesdays. I'm Kavita Chauhan from 2 Health First Aid. I want to talk to you about being prepared. So just like you get insurance, first aid and first aid products is like insurance. It's for that, unfortunate time where you do need to, use your skills or use the product. So I just want to review some key things that every parent should have. So first of all, knowing what to do. So this is a great tip sheet. So when my students, I always give them a package, and it's a great cheat sheet, something you can keep on your fridge. So on your fridge, keep a handy sheet, have numbers that are essential. So what are some key numbers you should have on your phone and post it on the fridge? You should have, obviously we know 911, but 911 is not universal. If you travel a lot, you go to Europe, you go to Mexico, you go to the Caribbean, it's not 911. So you should know the local emergency number. It even could be a 7-digit number. The other thing is poison center. You should know the poison center number. It's not an easy number to remember. There's other non-emergency numbers that are essential for parents and caregivers, like telehealth in Ontario. MedVisit, that is a fabulous resource. It's OHIP funded, doctors come to your house. So that's like an amazing resource. It's 7 days a week until 11 p.m. A great resource if your child is sick and you cannot get to your doctor that day. Okay, so in addition to a cheat sheet, again, it's no sense having a cheat sheet if you don't know what's on it. So obviously take training first, and then the cheat sheet will reinforce your knowledge. Second is having a kit. So I've shown you 3 different types of kits. So this is an example of a car kit. In my car, I have it on the door. And in my husband's car, we have it either on the passenger door or behind. The key thing is have it in arm's reach of the driver. What is in a car kit? So look at car situations. You want it to be dealing with something cold. So when you open up this kit, there's matches, there's a blanket. You want it accessible. You want it to deal with bleeding. Bleeding, unfortunately, could happen in the car on a road trip. You want things that'll address bleeding. The other thing is gloves. So as soon as you open a bag, you should always have access to gloves, okay? Even if it's your child, what if you just pumped gas and now you have to clean out their mouth? So now you're, putting the child at risk, medically speaking. So you want to put gloves on because it also can protect your child. Okay, so that's for the car or even in a stroller if there's room. The one I always keep in my purse is a mini kit. So this has the essentials. So this is a seatbelt cutter, and another color is shown here. So it's a quick way to either get out of a seatbelt, cut the car seat out of the car, because in a collision I always suggest that keep children in the car seat, but you remove the car seat from the car. Even if they're not injured in a collision, it's safest to keep them in a car seat, because you may actually need now to take a cab home, and a car seat is so much safer than holding them in the lap, and also it's illegal to hold them in the lap. So a seatbelt cutter is great. Again, this little pouch obviously is not as equipped as this, but in your purse you may need things for bleeding, for antiseptic. This also has an instant cold pack. Okay, so even the packaging is really durable. So if it gets damp, it's okay. And always have things on hand. Okay, so an instant cold pack looks like this, and ice is always great. So if a child gets cut, a minor burn, you always have this. And again, just to note, if it is used for burns, never directly on the skin, always wrap it with a thin cloth, even like a face cloth, because you don't want direct cold on a child's sensitive skin. And then the final thing is if you have a tiny little pouch or a purse or a jacket, this is a mini one. So what's the essential, like the absolute minimum you should have and carry at all times in an emergency? So a seatbelt cutter for sure. And of course, bleeding, right? That's one of the things that you think of, okay, you definitely want to be prepared with. So the absolute minimum would be something to deal with major bleeding, like a gauze roll. Of course, it should be sterile. Cleaning the wound. So anything you use to clean the wound should be non-alcoholic. Children and alcohol don't mix. So even when it relates to first aid, have a non-alcoholic antiseptic, and thankfully this doesn't sting. So the child will not even know that you're cleaning up their wound. And something you may use more often is just adhesive strips or bandage strips. Non-latex is very important, and this is a great A great one that is very sticky even when it gets wet. So even if you wash your hands a few times, it's not going to come out. Or if the child is taking a bath, it won't come out. And then the absolute minimum essential is having gloves on hand. These are nitrile gloves and a face shield. So in the event you need to deliver CPR or mouth-to-mouth on a child or even someone else's child, you're always protected. So these are absolute minimum tools of the trade, I call it. Even if it's your child you're rescuing, you want to be prepared. And again, gloves is also okay if it's your child. I always say, you know the compost bin? Let's say you lose your diamond ring in there, right, ladies? Do you feel comfortable putting your bare hands in that gooey food? And we know it's just food. If that grosses you out, vomit may gross you out. So wear gloves. You become desensitized of the situation, and it actually expedites your rescue. So always be prepared. Think of the diaper bag, your purse, the stroller, the car, or if you're traveling. When I travel, I always take a kit because you never know when you're going to use it, and I actually have had to use my first aid kit on travel. So thank you very much. Be prepared. Hope you, again, never use these skills, but it's always important to be prepared, just like having insurance. So right from day one, be prepared. And please visit day1.ca for more tips and 2health.com. Thank you very much. Have a great day.